From the Keith Vincent Kaola Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, Witchcraft and the Salem Witch Trials. And now your host, JC3.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisrealpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisrealpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisrealpc.com. Welcome everybody to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Tonight's episode, as you heard Big Joe said, we are talking about the Salem Witch Trials and a little bit of Witchcraft. We're talking about Witchcraft for the next two episodes. It's like one big episode. We're splitting up in two different parts. So tonight we're talking about Salem Witch Trials. And the reason is because, one, we've always in this booth enjoyed talking about the Salem Witch Trials. It's always one of our favorite topics to go into. We just never talked about it on air. But in the booth tonight, we do have me, as you can see me, and we have Big Joe. Big Joe, say hello to the camera.
Hello, camera.
And we have Pope Tony.
I'm a Pope.
We are a triplet tonight? We are a triplet.
Sure, triplet.
Isn't that what they call three people in a band, a triplet?
I don't know.
I mean, you have a quartet.
As long as you don't say threesome, I'm just going to stay.
No, I didn't.
I think the word you're looking for is trio.
Trio, whatever, same shit.
Triplet is that thing you see at the circus with three heads.
Oh, fuck you.
Or two bonus babies. You know, it's just like, come on.
Two bonus babies. All right, so as you can see on your screen, I am like all up in this bitch. I'm right here in your face. And I'm behind the booth. Joshua and Wes are not here tonight. So I'll start it off. Anthony, Pope Tony, we'll start with you first.
Yes.
What do you know and remember about the Salem Witch Trials?
A lot of people were...
You remember, like you were there.
I know. I was kind of young at the time. A lot of people were accused of being witches, and then they were executed for it. Just another example of extreme religious belief.
There we go.
Being used as a weapon.
That's all of 1 minute.
Am I wrong, though? They turned away from God, they turned away from Jesus, and they were executed because they did not denounce their ways. Let's put it like this. These people were said, listen, we think you're a witch. And they went, no. And they went, yes, we do. So you're going to tell us you're a witch. And they went, oh, I'm not a witch. And they said, okay, well, then we're going to torture you until you admit that you're a witch. And if you don't fucking admit to it, we're going to kill you. And then they went, okay, I'm a witch. And they went, okay, thank you for admitting it. Now we're going to kill you. It was a no-win for these situations.
Wrongo. If they admitted it, you either got life in prison or you got shamed, and your name would be hung upon the church door for all to see. So it behooved people to say, you know what? I want to breathe tomorrow, so I'm going to say, yeah, right, yeah, I'm a witch, right, whatever.
And then you're ostracized from the community. When it's not like today,
breathing.
But it's not like today where you can just go to the Walmart. It's like, you're like, I need a dozen eggs. Well, if ye weren't a witch, then maybe I would sell ye some eggs. Until then, fuck ye. That's what that's happened. You were ostracized from the community because you were a witch or a warlock or some other bullshit thing that these fucking people believe because they're backwards.
Before you get on a fucking rant with your anti-religion stuff,
it's the truth.
Okay, you know what? Let's put that aside. Let's take that part of the onion and peel it aside. I think this is more to do about hysteria and how people
brought on by a mass.
Okay. Before this gets really out of control.
Fuck ye too.
All right. Before it gets really, really out of control. Anthony.
Yes.
Do you have
ye hard on?
on your computer in front of you
Yes.
right now, do you have the historical context of the Salem Witch Trials? I didn't even
It's
get
a good thing I was allowed to express what I think it is.
Okay, do you want to go? Because I think you went already. I mean, yelling and bitching at each other. I didn't expect this to be a fucking debate episode.
You put him and me across on the same table, and you don't think it's going to wind up in a debate?
And we're
Are
talking
you
about
fucking
something
kidding
that
me?
religion is at the heart of.
Yes, religion. Yes, religion is the heart of this, not the hysteria and the lunatics that were
Based
there.
off of why were they hysterically crazy?
Pope.
They were religious fanatics.
For somebody named the Pope, he's got a really hard on for
Pope
religion.
Tony.
See?
Shut the fuck up.
Ciao.
All right, Dad. Do you want to give your explanation?
I honestly don't right now, but okay. I think it has more to do with hysteria. Okay, religious based, I'll give you that much. But what people would do to get other people in trouble. Okay, you had 200 people accused of witchcraft. All right. And 20 of them were hung.
30. Oh, no, sorry. I apologize. You're right. 19 were hung.
Six of them died. One was crushed to death, Giles Corey.
Poor Giles Corey.
You know what? That takes some balls. Let me tell you, man. More weight. That takes balls. Okay.
Because that's the whole thing. They did not want their name besmirched.
Right. And
That's all they had.
that's a lot of fuck. That takes guts.
You're right. But you're forced in a position to either choose your pride or eat.
Well, you know what? I would rather forage through people's garbage the next day and breathe than to be crushed under, weight of stone or hung, And let's get on the movie The Crucible. I don't know how many people have seen it. It's loosely based upon this. However, when I say loosely, it can't be any more loose. It's ridiculous what they did with the movie. Great story. Norman Mailer.
John Proctor is not a
Norman
real
Mailer,
person?
is that his name? The guy
Arthur
who wrote it?
Miller.
Arthur Miller. He wrote a great fucking play, and then the movie. I think it was a brilliant movie, but it was kind of loosely based upon what went on. Yeah, people were hung. Yeah, people were accused, but it was also in the movie. They're showing you how they would use that. People in town would use that against their enemies. All you had to do is say, you know what, I think they're a witch. Bingo, you're in trial and you're losing your life.
Right. Because
So-
no one at the time stopped and went, witch? Do we really? How many of us really? Witch? That's a thing?
Well, Anthony, please explain what a witch is.
Sure. Let me go over to the Witchcraft of Wikipedia page.
See,
You want me to?
Hold on,
I don't know how to do it. It's pretty easy.
hold on. As he's doing it, I will explain where I
Yes, please
learned
do.
about
We
that.
want to hear
So,
from you.
From my, remembering when I remembered. Fuck you, Dad.
When I remembered.
In high school, I learned about it with the Crucible. We read the book in junior year, I think it was. We read the book in high school, and I knew about it before you because Amanda came home one high school day, and she really enjoyed the book, and she really enjoyed the movie.
What? Amanda read a book?
I know. Talk about witchcraft.
Okay.
That should be a whole podcast on its own.
Can we stop?
Yes.
Focus.
As I'm
Yes.
sitting here looking at a signed autograph of Paul Schofield from The Crucible.
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of
Right.
autograph.
Paul Schofield, the great Paul Schofield. But anyway,
Okay.
go ahead.
So yeah, so we watched it in English class in high school, and what I remember, from the movie, because I haven't seen it in a minute. It's been at least 5 years since I last saw that movie. The actual, you're right. It's not very historically based.
Right.
There's some characters that aren't real. There's some characters that are based on real characters,
Well,
like
the mere fact they made what was the main character in that one?
John Proctor.
John Proctor. They made him out to be what? Was he 35
30,
in that?
Yeah.
The real John Proctor was in his 80s.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, it's not even close.
Well, I mean, can we not assume that the John Proctor if he could have had sexual relations with a teenage girl? I mean, in that times?
I don't know, but that's not what's historically accurate.
Right. It's not. It's a story. It's a movie.
Yeah. No, I know.
You know,
All right, Anthony, Witchcraft. Give me Witchcraft.
Witchcraft is so a witch is a practitioner of witchcraft. Witchcraft means the use of magic or supernatural powers to inflict harm or misfortune on others, and remains the most common, and thus this remains the most common and widespread meaning. So it's right off the bat, it has a negative stereotype against it.
Yeah. Does it have I mean, I don't know if you were done.
There's a reason for that.
I don't know if you were done with your explanation real quick. Does it have how many active people in today's world who are witches?
I don't think so. Like it says today, followers of certain types of modern paganism self-identify as witches and use the term witchcraft for their beliefs and practices. Other neo-pagans avoid the term due to its negative connotations. So it doesn't say how many people like practice in 2024 or can call themselves witches.
You say it so demeaning.
Hi, I'm Bob, and I'm a witch. I mean, no.
Well, he would be a wizard, not a witch.
Or he would actually be a warlock.
A warlock. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, and then you have the bard, and then you have the elf, and then you have the orc, and then you have all these other Dungeons and Dragons characters.
Oh, you brought up Dungeons and Dragons.
Fuck them too.
Okay.
Not sponsored, by the way.
No, not sponsored.
No, all right, look.
Witchcraft thus exists more in the imagination of contemporaries than in objective reality. Yet the stereotype has a long history and has constituted for many cultures as a viable explanation for evil in the world. The belief in witchcraft has been found in a great number of societies worldwide. Anthropologists have applied the term witchcraft to similar beliefs in the occult practice through many different cultures and societies that have adopted the English language had often internalized the term. So it's someone who practices dark magic, and a wizard, a warlock would be a male, and a witch would be a female.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
In today's logic, where males are not males and females are not females, what do we call them?
I don't know. What's the gender-neutral term for evil?
They have their own pronouns. I don't know.
Okay.
He, the, it, shit, that, but whatever. I don't
know.
know.
real quick. That's seriously though.
This is pissing me off.
Okay, so basically, witchcraft would be paganism then.
Apparently, that's where it starts. It says in Europe, the belief in witchcraft traces back to classical antiquity. In medieval and early modern Europe, accused witches were women who were believed to use black magic against their own community. See, I don't have a problem with somebody who, like, they lived in the woods and they lived off of nature and they mixed potions using roots and berries and twigs and shit, and they came up with a natural herb or a remedy for a sickness. That's fine to me. You're using the elements of the earth to cure your diseases. Okay? That's where I think Wicca is, and we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah, in the next episode.
But in terms of witchcraft, you get shit where people, like, they chant, they read their little book and they chant the spells and they put the Eye of Newt in the shit, and then all of a sudden, Jeff from 3 towns away, gets a gallstone or some shit. And that's what they believed in.
Okay, hold on. Dad?
I don't know how to follow that. All I can tell you is very much like that. This is where I'm going to come in with my belief. Witchcraft itself is rooted in the occult. The occult meaning what? How many people know what occult means here? My God, we had this in so many episodes.
Well, I don't think
Hidden
we actually we didn't define it.
Okay, well, you should have. Now, the practice of occult basically...
First of all, fuck you.
You asked me and you're cutting me off again.
Don't tell me you should have, all right? I'm the editor. I'm the showrunner. I'm the this and that. Let someone else do the definitions here, all right? You know how hard it is for me to read.
It's true.
All right. Witchcraft, automatically, whether you like it or not, if people are practicing witches, there's rooted in Satanism. They're rooted in...
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It's not tough. It's a fact.
Witches,
what I mean. But you'll get the white witches that they practice Mother Earth and all the bullish bullshit.
White witch.
If you are trying to change nature, and you're trying to put potions and cast spells or whatever on people, it has to do with something giving you that power to do that. That would be you're literally making a pact with the devil, with not some. I want to use the term devil.
Okay, and not to play devil's advocate.
I actually have that right here too.
My question: a lot of people would turn around and say, "Well, what if they're getting the energy from the earth instead of the devil or a demon or something like that?"
That means the earth would have to be a living, breathing organism with an intelligence of its own. Am I right? The wind would have to blow because the wind thought about blowing. The earth would have to move because the earth decided, today we're going to have an earthquake. So that's not how it works.
Okay, Anthony, do you not think the earth has an energy about it?
An energy?
Like, okay, so
do you think it's smart?
Your eye is so red. Why?
I know it's starting to act up.
that's not what I mean. Like not like that. I'm saying like, okay, we in oh God, what was it? Rocks and sediment, whatever. They give off energy, don't they?
Rocks don't give off energy. Now you could be
They
an
lay in the
anti-sediment. Those are people who are against sediments.
I hate all of you.
There's only two of us here. Come on.
No, the idea of like things giving off energy. Energy in the form of what? What is energy when you say that?
Oh, like a power, like a surge. I'm not saying I believe it personally because I don't think I
could pick up a piece of rock and be like, I feel the thing coming off of here.
I mean, there's a lot of people who do say that though.
Well, certain things does. I mean, you know, like you go get you're mining for what's that stuff that they put in the plutonium?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does give off something.
It's radioactive.
Exactly. So that does give off something. Now that it's a natural mineral.
Sure.
Okay, so that's one. Now a rock that you have in your driveway or in your thing.
Well, no. How about what about those rocks or whatever the fuck you want to call them that give off they talk about it all the time in like ghost hunting where it gives off like electronic energy. I'm
not familiar.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Fuck, man, I'm drawing a blank on that.
There's some PhD professor somewhere going, these assholes.
No, there's a rock that they turn around and be like, oh, that might be just the natural energy that we're picking up on our EMF detectors.
Well,
electromagnetic energy?
Yes.
EMG.
That electromagnetic energy is electromagnetism is it's real. I can't say that it isn't.
That normally happens around power lines and stuff like that. When there's
I'm gonna have to look this up and talk about this in the
I
next
think
segment.
what you're talking about is shale. Okay,
I don't know what the fuck that is.
The going theory is when there's a big deposit of shale somewhere, okay, that can throw off, that can cause
electromagnetic issues?
No, not electromagnetic, but it can cause parapsychology and stuff like that. You know, like ghosts or something like that, because shale apparently is giving this something off. I don't know what it is.
And that's what I
one of the
mean,
going.
When you think about, like, okay, now I'm not saying that all of witchcraft is not through like demons or stuff like that. Like, of course, I do think there is a satanic part of that. I do wholeheartedly believe that if you are dabbling in witchcraft or Wicca, there is some part of it, if you get into deeper stuff, as we talked about with those spell books, the grimoires, that there are darker elements of witchcraft. But when you talk about other elements, there are some people who are like, yeah, we don't talk, we don't dabble in Satanism, we don't dabble in stuff like that. It's more of we're taking the energy of the earth, or the energy, the natural energy, if you will. Again, I'm not very into that, so
right.
I don't know exactly what they're talking about, exactly what they mean. But there have been many people I've had, have heard who call themselves white witches and stuff like that, who say they're the power they draw from is the power of the earth and the power of natural resources.
That's where they're making their distinction between black magic and Wicca. But I'm sorry. It's not just a bunch of rocks that are changing. The earth is not giving you off any signals to change things. I mean, I want you to prove that to me. I want you to prove it to me.
All right. Anthony, we'll get your last take on this, and then we'll go to break.
I don't know. Like, when it comes to this, feeling the earth's vibration and like, I'm of the belief that if it's not there, it's not there. Like, if you can't try and manifest some sort of energy out of something that's not giving you any sort of signal or anything off of it, it doesn't exist. And I said before, people who live off the land and use certain things, twigs, berries, and shit like that to make natural remedies and potions for sickness and shit, no problem with those people. Those are fine. I don't know if they're white witches or they're Wiccas or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. That's fine. But for someone who thinks that they can stare into a crystal ball and mutters incantations, and then someone gets poisoned or hurt, or they take revenge out and by not lifting a finger other than mixing up some sort of weird little potion. Get the fuck away from me. I don't believe in it.
All right. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to talk more about Salem, because in the aftermath of it, because there's a lot of shit that went down, a lot of changes in the country that went down because of that. We'll be right back.
Though through the weaving vines get cut, even now you can't give up.
Are you a filmmaker, cosplayer, or special effects enthusiast looking to take your creations to the next level? Then look no further than New Rule FX. From realistic props to professional grade special effects equipment, New Rule FX has everything you need to bring your vision to life. Explore their extensive catalog of high-quality products and unleash your creativity like never before. Visit our link in the description to shop now below.
Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What is that?
No calories, no sugars,
No sugar.
no fillers,
No fillers.
and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to dubby.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Passion Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby.
And be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout at adamandeve.com. And welcome back to our Witchcraft episode. We're talking about witchcraft. We're also talking about the Salem Witch Trials, which, you know, they all kind of, they're the same thing. If you don't have witchcraft, you don't have the Salem Witch Trials. By the way, from the first segment, I was talking about earth magic, which is not really is not really witchcraft itself.
Yeah, it's a whole episode unto itself, it seems like to me.
All right, Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Pope Tony. What else do we have as far as the timeline and stuff that happened during the Salem Witch Trials? Let's talk about it a little bit more.
Okay.
So we talked about how did this start happening? Like in that area, we're talking about the time of the Puritans, right? Like this is.
Yep.
They were all, religious basis. We talked before. They were all like purely straight off the boat, like, which it wasn't Catholicism, right? It was Christianity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were pure Christians, and what led them to believe that people were being possessed by witches or being attacked by witches?
The trial began after a few local women in Salem Village were accused of witchcraft by 4 young girls: Betty Paris, Abigail Williams, Ann Putnam Jr., and Elizabeth Hubbard. The accusations centered around the concept of affliction, and the witch is accused of having caused physical and mental harm to the girls through witchcraft.
Now stop right there. Mm-hmm. Okay, that part of the movie was true.
Yes.
Okay, you had these. They were dancing in the woods. And Tituba, I don't know what was she like a servant or something?
She was a slave.
She was a slave.
She was the one that most notably was supposed to be involved in witchcraft. Later, she admitted it, but quite curiously, she was let go to go back to Barbados. Let's see,
Barbados.
Whatever. Those 4 were accused of what did you call that, Anthony? Affliction. Affliction is when. They the one girl fell asleep and they couldn't get her up. They couldn't wake her up. Mm-hmm. Was she faking it? We don't know. Okay. Other ones where they would see things, like they would be sitting in a courtroom and then they would see things flying above their head, or they would see demons walking, or they would do whatever like that. And what they did was they called them their familiar spirit. In other words, if you were a witch, you physically didn't have to send anybody out. You just you didn't have to kill anybody yourself or to hurt anybody yourself. You sent your spirit out to do it. That's what they believed in. Mm-hmm. And that was part of the affliction. When it got that's what started the hysteria. But prior to that, believe it or not, the first execution of a witch in the New World was in 1647 in Hartford, Connecticut. They accused her.
Good old H-Town.
And they accused her and they put her to death. So that you're talking somewhere, I don't know how many years earlier.
Well, you didn't give us a date, so
I did say 1647.
Oh, well, I didn't hear that.
Well,
so I don't know. I mean, do the math. Do the math. All right. So, what else? What started after? Like, what more do we have?
When people saw that it was people, you could make people into an easy target. If you didn't like somebody, and you got to understand too, back then. In the town of Salem, which is now Danvers, Connecticut, that town was rife with land disputes. People didn't get along with each other. There were people that were fighting with each other. It was kind of a mess. So what better way of getting at your opponent than accusing them of being a witch or her being a witch if you don't like it,
Yeah. Well,
so, and that's what, and again, they were led by religious beliefs. But here's the kicker.
What are we kicking?
In Europe, there was a mass scare. There was like 300 people that were killed throughout Europe for being a witch. Going into this in late 1600s or 1500s, there was no, how do you say that? There was no, it was starting to wane down there. Europe was starting.
In Europe, yeah.
It was starting to wane down, only to bring their beliefs over here. And they continued it over here, and that's when, people were being accused for no reason.
Well, what I have here also is this is the legal proceeding. Mm-hmm. So after someone concluded that a loss, meaning like loss of crop, loss of cow, loss of whatever, illness or death had been caused by witchcraft, the accuser entered a complaint against the alleged witch with the local magistrates. If the complaint was deemed credible, the magistrates had the person arrested and brought in for public examination. Essentially, an interrogation where the magistrates pressed the accused to confess. Now, they already had you guilty when you came in.
True.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing you could do to sit there. If you were accused of witchcraft, it was automatic death sentence.
Well, if you if you agreed to be a witch, if you were accused and you how do you say that? pled guilty to being a witch, you weren't necessarily killed. You were ostracized. Your name would be hung on the door of the church.
My name.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
And in some parts they're like when in the movie the Crucible, when John Proctor had said, what more do you want? I mean, I hung the church on the door. I did whatever you guys asked me to do.
Hung the door on the church.
Okay, hung the door on the church. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, which means you hang a door.
No, I know that. You said it backwards.
So the thing is, that all came to play, and quite frankly, the powers that be didn't really care. If you were accused, you were guilty. That's it. You either admitted it or you fought it. If you fought it, you're going to be found guilty, and you're going to die.
But here's what they didn't. Here's why Giles Corey didn't admit and take the plea deal. Because if he had said that he was a witch, he forfeits all rights to everything, which means the state got control of his estate.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said, I'm not a witch, all of his shit went to his son, and they didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason why you don't say that, you don't plead guilty to something that you're innocent of.
That's a good dad. That's a good dad.
Sure.
Well,
absolutely.
We also had a
couple. He was also 81 years old, and he figured, fuck it.
We also had a couple convicted witches, Rebecca Nurse and Martha Corey. They had been excommunicated from their churches and denied proper burials.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the bodies of the accused were cut down from the trees, they were thrown into a shallow grave, and the crowd dispersed. Oral history claims that the families of the dead reclaimed their bodies after dark and buried them in unmarked graves on their family property. The record books of the time do not note the deaths of any of those accused. So basically what that means is in that area over there, there's a bunch of graves with these people, and no one knows where exactly they are.
Well, no one knew where the actual hanging was either until recently.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the colleges up there found it, and then they named it the Proctor Hill
Park,
or something like that.
Something Park like that.
And also the state of Connecticut. The state of Massachusetts, slowly is exonerating the people that were hung.
Oh, how nice of them! 300 years later.
Well, it's like Anthony. Let's call it what it is. I mean, look, in modern day ages, people are getting blamed for slavery today. They want people to.
No, I understand that.
Then, and they're trying to say, no, I had nothing to do with it. But I'm going to help you out.
I understand that, but there's a very big difference between a record book saying that John Smith of 1648 owned 8 slaves, and these were the conditions that these slaves were lived in, they lived in, and this is the treatment that they faced. That's a historical record. Versus someone going, we think that they're a witch. Something's afoul in the fuselage, Frederick, and we killed them. There's no due process. And by the way, they weren't Christians; they were Protestants. That's what the right one is. And the whole. Remember, this is before. Remember, it's 1776 is when we put down the Declaration of Independence.
That's very good.
We declared ourselves our own nation.
Yes.
Prior to that, you had towns established. You had England in control, but the Protestants in this era established these towns because they wanted their own way of praying, their own belief system, their own way of practicing their religion. That's the whole thing, remember, of why they sailed away from England. They came over here and they wanted to say, no, we're here to seek religious freedom. Freedom to execute people when they think that they're doing spooky shit that we think is evil.
All right, I'll give you all that. But what the fuck does that got to do with the modern day people exonerating him?
Well, I'm saying there's
nothing more. They can't step back in history and say, don't hang him.
No, I understand that. My point is, they shouldn't have been hung in the first place because this stupid shit's not real.
A lot of things shouldn't have happened.
Wait. Before
Biden shouldn't have been president, but he is.
All right, we're not going to get into that. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's its own fairy tale.
Okay, they, according to this right here, they have...
Can you give me that water, please? I don't know how old it is, and I don't care.
They have spectral evidence.
If I go down for the count, you know what happened.
Spectral evidence. So much, but not all of the evidence used against the accused was spectral evidence, or the testimony of the afflicted who claimed to see the apparition or the shape of the person who was allegedly afflicting them.
Familiar spirit.
Yeah. Basically, all the judges sat around and went, well, we all heard the girls. They all said that they saw spirits and demons and spooky shit. And there was one judge, I guarantee, the one judge went, hey, guys, maybe they're lying. And the rest of the judges went, shut the fuck up, Jeff.
Okay.
They saw spooky shit.
Okay, can I finish what I was saying, please? For love
You're
of
right.
God?
I'll get to that point in a second. My God.
The theological dispute that ensued about the use of this evidence was based on whether a person had to give permission to the devil for his or her shape to be used to afflict.
Because the devil has copyright issues.
Gotta tell you, he knows how to market.
Opponents claimed that the devil was able to use anyone's shape to afflict people, but the court contended that the devil could not use a person's shape without that person's permission. Therefore, when the afflicted claimed to see the apparition of the specific person, that was accepted as evidence that the accused had been complicit with the devil.
Uh-huh. Because the devil, the lord of the underworld, the master of evil, needs permission in order to do bad spooky shit. Otherwise, he just can't do it. What if the devil decided, you know what? That Goody Proctor, she would make a fine spirit I could take possession of. I could pose as her, but you know what? God damn it, she wouldn't let me in. I'll change her haircut. It's not the same thing. I'll do a parody. Doesn't the devil understand how parody law works? No, we can't say that. You have to have special written permission to the devil. Okay. And how does the devil ask for permission?
Okay, can I get a word in edgewise?
Yeah.
Can anyone understand how stupid this sounds?
All right, first of all, what they're saying, genius.
I understand what they're saying.
Then you wouldn't go off on a rant because then you're doing your own parody.
It's fucking stupid.
All right, maybe stupid.
The way they came to this conclusion is fucking dumb. That they had. Okay,
I feel like I'm hosting a debate episode.
They're
Jesus Christ.
seeing spirits of these people who live in town. Now the devil just can't take any form, although he has every superpower known to being. So they had to give him special permission because, the devil respects personal space and property.
I'm gonna bring up Roadblock. Anthony, shut the fuck up. Dad, continue to talk, please. Because if we don't shut him up, he just
going
rants
on.
and goes.
It's stupid. It's
First off, the first law of attraction you have to understand when you're dealing with demonicness. I just another word.
Demonicness.
Okay, when you're dealing with the demonic, they need permission to come aboard. They don't just jump in and say,
like
"I'm
vampire?
here." They have to be invited in, and I'm not saying you send out a Hallmark. I'm saying you have to be fucking around with some kind of the occult. You have to fuck around with some kind of Ouija board. You have to do something to bring them in. That's what they're talking about. The law of attraction.
Hold on,
that's as simple as that. My God,
like a vampire.
Yes, vampires aren't allowed in your house unless you invite them in.
I'm telling you,
because they're formal.
Well, I do have one thing here. So
they do dress well.
This is called the witch cake.
The witch cake?
Yes, the witch cake. Ready?
What flavor is it?
So according to a March 27th, 1692 entry by Paris in the records of the Salem Village Church, a church member and close neighbor of Reverend Paris, Mary Sibley, who's the aunt of Mary Walcott, directed John Indian, a man enslaved by Paris, to make a witch cake. This may have been a superstitious attempt to ward off evil spirits, according to an account attributed to Deodat Lawson. This happened around March 8th, over a week after the first complaints had gone out and 3 women were arrested. Lawson's account describes this cake a means to discover witchcraft and provides other details such as it was made from rye meal and urine from the afflicted girls and was fed to a dog.
A piss cake? That doesn't even sound attractive.
In the church records, Paris describes speaking with Sibley privately on March 25th, 1692, about her grand error and accepted her sorrowful confession. After the main sermon on March 27th and the wider congregation was dismissed, Paris addressed covenanted church members about it and admonished all the congregation against going to the devil for help against the devil. I don't know what the fuck that means. He stated while that while calamities that had begun in his own household, it never break forth to any considerable light until diabolical means were used by the making of the cake by an Indian man who had his direction from this our sister Mary Sibley. This doesn't seem to square with Lawson's account dating to March 8th. The first complaints were February 29th, and the first arrests were March 1st.
All right, who's the guy before one of you asked the question?
I have to use buttercream for the frosting.
Do you think that somebody would have sat around, you know what, this isn't a good idea?
That was me.
That was Anthony.
Okay.
Yes.
Judge Sewell was the first one to say, I don't think this is really what's going on. And he was talking to Thomas Danforth, who was the head judge at the time, the guy who was played by Schofield.
Yeah, Schofield.
He said, Thomas, this is not, you think this is right? Something's wrong here. He later apologized after, when he left office. He apologized, and he wrote a book called The Selling of Joseph. And basically what that was, it was about the abolition of slavery. He thought slavery was a bad thing. So he did, there was one guy that they didn't listen to, but he did voice. His voice was not listened to by, Nathaniel Hawthorne, his name was. And he was a judge and a businessman in Massachusetts at the time.
All right. So,
No, you got your answer.
all right.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm just saying, if anyone just listened to him and everyone, all right, calm down. Let's make some ye old guac and have some chips and just talk this out. 20 people would have had been able to live their lives. In
Not
complete
the
But
ye-
they also believed, again, to your point, this is a religious thing, and one of the problems they had was they believed that the devil. They used the term the devil. I didn't think they knew what they were really terminalizing. Anyway, the devil could never overcome a minister. In their eyes, the minister was just under God. So no matter what the devil did, that's why he was hiding. That's why he was. He would do his stuff and he'd make them sign their book. Remember that?
Yeah.
You had to sign the book.
Yep.
Okay, that's what. But they believe that the devil had no power of minister. Now, I'm sure even someone like you who doesn't really believe in a lot of this stuff will sit there and say, "I don't think that's how it works. I think the devil or the hierarchy of hell has a little more authority or a little more power than a priest."
Before we get to whether we believe in it or not, we are going to take a break because this segment was a little bit long. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back to end this episode and to get whether we believe in witchcraft or not. So we'll be right back. Calling all cat lovers. Are you tired of your furry friend taking over your living space? Say hello to Cat Cave Co., your one-stop shop for all things stylish cat furniture. Their modern design seamlessly blend into your home decor while providing your cat with a cozy sanctuary of their own. Discover the perfect piece for your feline friend today using the link in the description and reclaim your space without compromising your style. Your cat will thank you.
Hey, fellow truth seekers. Want to take your love for the Is This Real podcast to the next level? Check out our exclusive merchandise line designed for curious minds like yours in mind. From comfy tees and hoodies to stylish mugs and accessories, our merchandise is the best way for you to show your passion for unraveling the mysteries of the fucking universe. Visit our online store at isthisrealpc.com and gear up to explore the universe in style. Don't just listen, wear your curiosity with pride with Is This Real podcast merchandise.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisraelpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisraelpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisraelpc.com. And welcome back to our witchcraft episode as we got into the Salem Witch Trials with this episode because, again, like I said, we're going to be talking about witchcraft, Wicca, 2 big episodes. Basically, it's going to feel like one. So we are back with.
I don't think they're going to be big episodes, but they're going to intertwine. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, it feels like a big episode because witchcraft is a general talking point,
Right.
and then you can talk to like things like Wicca, and because I think Wicca out of all of them under witchcraft is the biggest kind of like next underling. If you you have witchcraft, then you have Wicca right here.
Mm-hmm.
But Anthony, you did have something to bring up.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were just talking about the devil, and as far as the hierarchy and all that shit, what the devil can and cannot do. We know now that the devil cannot just take any form he wants. He needs to have special written permission by the host or someone he wants to impersonate. But it did say here that throughout their lives, Puritans, especially Puritan women, actively attempted to thwart attempts by the devil to overtake them in their souls. Okay.
Through a what?
Throughout their daily lives, Puritans, especially women, actively attempted to thwart attempts by the devil to overtake them in their souls. So
you said that so quick. I thought you had said they threw him a 10 spot.
No. They thwarted attempts, which means that they thought that they were always in the devil's crosshairs.
Ye old devil, please do not take my. Here's 10 shillings.
Indeed, Puritans held the belief that men and women were equal in the eyes of God, but they were not equal in the eyes of the devil. Women's souls were seen as unprotected in their so-called weak and vulnerable bodies. Several factors may explain why women were more likely to admit guilt of witchcraft than men. Historian Elizabeth Reese asserts that some likely believed that they had truly given in to the devil, and others might have believed they had done so temporarily. However, because those who confessed were reintegrated into society, some women may have confessed to spare their own lives. Let me put it to you like this. This was a group of people who thought everything was a sin and everything was going to take them to hell. Right. So if they had borrowed an egg without telling their neighbor that they went into their chicken coop, then that somehow translated that they made a compact with the devil. And they apologized because they borrowed an egg. My point is, when you live in religious fear, you're going to have mass hysteria and panic, and people are going to lose their lives because eventually someone's going to do something so fucking crazy, and everyone's going to go, "That's the devil! Holy shit! Get him! Smite him!
Smite him, mighty smiter!"
That's what it is here. You're not wrong when you said at the beginning of the episode this is about mass hysteria. You're right, it is. But the reason why it's mass hysteria is brought on because of the religious insanity.
Okay, where I have an issue with when you say stuff like that.
This is a good turn to a
You
debate
want
episode.
people in the 1600s to think and act like people now.
No, I don't.
Or you want everybody to have common sense. That's the way you come at it. Like, hold on, I got to put my ears back on because I can't even hear myself.
Okay.
Hold on.
You can't sit there and this was their belief at the time, whether you agree with it or not. You can't. Well, it was stupid. To them, it wasn't.
No, I understand.
Just like
that.
you might have been. You're a college-educated human being, semi-intelligent, I would imagine, but
it's the same.
You can't all act like we act and believe what we believe.
I understand what you're saying. It's the same reason why I sit there and go, like, when people want to shit on someone like Christopher Columbus, I could sit there and go, he was a great explorer, but he also did begin a genocide in the Indies. Like, I can see where they're bright. Now, you want to try and like throw blankets over him and chastise him and shit and say that he's whatever. Now I'm like, a couple hundred years ago, that was the way he was. That's the way life was. So I agree with you with that idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But the problem I have
with is religion.
Well, no, it's not just the idea of religion. I'm okay with that. I'm losing my fucking train of thought is what I'm losing right now. God damn it. Sorry, my eye's acting up and it's really pissing me off.
What your problem was.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Continue.
I don't blame people for what happened back then and what they did. What I do blame is people in 2024 who are of similar mindset. I'm not saying we still have Puritans running around with the funny hats and the belt buckle shoes.
We also, I mean, okay.
But you do have
On
people.
Halloween, maybe.
But you do have people who live in very similar means, like extremely religious, and people who
I could see your point to
let me put it like this. This shit right here in the 1600s, we should have gotten to a point where we all looked at that and went, okay, that was hysteria brought on by mass religion. That should not happen again. So people who nowadays...
But we did.
Huh?
But we did.
Yeah, I know. No.
And now we're actually exonerating the people that went through this.
What I'm talking about
what more do you want to do?
What I'm saying is in 2024... And we talked about it all last season with cults. When you get to the point where you get religion has taken over every asset of your life and you're doing things. It's like, when are we going to get to a point where everyone steps back collectively and go, okay, if it's going to put your life in danger, it's not worth fucking praising or praying to or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
If it's going to hurt anyone else, we need to make sure it doesn't happen anymore.
I can see your point.
I wish I could say it better, but I'm fucking having a blank in my head.
I understand what you mean, but I think as far as we look through the God, I'm gonna say this word, the paths of time, and you look at the whole time on itself, we've let mass hysteria through many means control our society. Just take a look. Okay, so you had, I mean, granted, it is in a one specific.
Just look at World War II.
That's I was getting to that. World War II. The shit's happening right now as we fucking speak. Now, granted, it's not to the point where people are being, thrown in camps or anything like that. But we're getting to the point where it's a boogeyman.
I think it's hysteria based off of religion, is my problem. Like, no one bothers the Amish. I'm cool with the Amish. Good for them. They're not running around screaming, if you don't do this, you die.
Fuck the
Great little
Amish.
buggies.
Exactly. They have their own little place. They're fine. Whatever. It's the religious extremists.
And I love the way they wave.
But I have a question, though. You could sit there and say that...
Do they have bumper stickers? I've never been behind them.
Religion... Religious...
Hold on.
Okay.
Where do you put an Amish bumper sticker? On the back of the buggy or on the horse's ass?
All right. Are we
These are the real questions.
Are we done? Are we done?
Sorry, I had to get that one out. Go ahead.
My question for you is, like, when has there not been religious? Hold on, I'm gonna mute Dad's mic real quick as he's breathing. Where has there not been religious hysteria?
Oh, it happens. It's been happening since religion's been a thing. People die. People have been slaughtered in the name of God for fucking ever. It happens over and over and over again. My question is, when are we going to get to a point and say to people, if you take up arms in the name of God, you get put down? No more of this shit. No more killing others because of your belief. Fuck you. You want your belief? Take your belief. Practice it in your own home. Keep thy religion to yourself. The second you want to attack someone else off of your religion, no.
We do have these laws now. We do. But we're still having extremist people that are using religion. And I'm going to tell you something. I know you referenced it before, Joe. Look what's going on now. And that's a reference to, what happened back in the colleges back in, whatever, was it, a couple months back? Okay. I do believe that I don't think that was religious based so much. I think that's just hatred of a nation, hatred of... Now, they could hate each other because of religion. That's fine. But what I'm trying to get at is, I think that what was going on in the college at that time, they weren't just because...
Wait, hold on. I mean, it does deal with religion.
At the core.
What are they fighting over? They're fighting over land. And what does the land represent to them?
Hold on. For you,
Holy land.
For those of you playing the home game, we're talking about the Israel-Palestine conflicts now on this Witchcraft episode.
Yeah, I mean, the reason is because we're talking about religious hysteria, and that's we're talking about the Salem Witch Trials.
My God,
about using religion, and like Anthony's point is, don't use. We got to get to a point where we can't use religion to hurt other people.
My God has a bigger dick than your God.
That's fine.
See, you have to blame yourself, Anthony, because you're the one who brought up the mass hysteria with religion.
No. Okay. Dad brought up mass hysteria at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
I brought up religion, and we were conflicting at that point because we each saw that as like the root cause of this shit. And we're both right. It's one thing led to the next thing. They're both in tandem with each other. But my overall point is, when are we going to get to a point, not just in this country, but as a species, to sit there and go, no. You don't get to put your religion and declare war on anyone else because of your religion.
Well, when are we as a species going to stop fighting?
You could fight over many things, and sometimes the fight is justified. When people have power and wealth and they're taking rights or they're taking things and resources away from people who don't have it, there's a reason for revolution and protest. But when it comes in the name of God, that's where I draw the line.
That is the most stupidest fucking thing I've heard. Are you kidding me? Are you going to sit here and tell me it's okay to fucking kill each other, just not in the name of God?
Okay, we are definitely
When you're
Exactly what you just said.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. When you have someone, okay, take the Revolutionary War.
Thank God your grandmother's dead.
Take the Revolutionary War.
We're getting so
We're
off
a
topic
country.
here.
We were a country. We wanted freedom from England, not because we wanted to sit there and go, we have our own religion that we wanted to. We wanted independence because they were taxing us,
Okay.
and we wanted our freedom. My point. Wait, let me fucking finish. God damn it, ask me a question.
That's right.
We wanted our independence. We fought for our independence. We got our independence. Now we have this new country where you can practice and do
See
whatever.
Hamilton.
We can do whatever the fuck you want in this country. Here are the laws. Don't break them. Right?
Right.
That I can understand. When you have a king or a monarch who is stepping down on the people, let me put it like this. If the people of North Korea ever get together and say, fuck this cocksucker, and overtake their country and establish something new, I can understand that.
Okay.
It's when someone goes, no. I have talked to God, and I am saying that this is the Lord's will, and everyone has to obey this, and if you don't, you're burned at the stake. That's an issue because money is a real thing. Land is a real thing. God is not real in everyone's eyes.
Are we?
So someone to be executed in the name of God, in the name of something they don't even believe in, is kind of fucked up. Wouldn't you agree?
So do you guys believe in witchcraft? I mean, for fuck's sake, can we please get back on topic?
I thought Joshua wasn't here tonight.
Josh was not here tonight.
Well, anyway, like I don't know. You're right. You got off the point here, but I just don't understand the whole concept of, I think people use religion, even if they don't believe it, they use it to spread fear. That's just exactly.
100% agree.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I'm not kidding. You and I can't agree.
They use it to spread fear.
And what's more fearful than witchcraft?
He's good. Anyway, what were we talking about witchcraft, Joe?
Joey makes a good point, cocksucker. What is more fearful than the idea that there are people living amongst us in our small community that have made a deal with the devil, and we all believe in him? Like, that's the thing. Everyone has to first go, we all believe this way. We all attend church. We all practice this religion.
And in that time, in that period in Salem, they all did.
You're absolutely right. That's why I'm going with that. And then you have this 4 little girls who decide to go, I saw them flying around doing spooky shit, and the entire town came together and said, no, not on our watch. The devil must not live here. And these women gave in to the devil, and we must figure out why the fuck they did that.
Can you just do me a favor before the episode ends and please define spooky shit? You said it about that time. I don't know what that
What
means.
is spooky shit?
I'll explain it when we're in between episodes.
Sorry, folks. You're not going to be able to hear it.
All right. So, as I do my hostingly duties, I wrapping this whole shit around and, forming whatever the fuck this is.
4 minutes of witchcraft. It should be called witchcraft and other shit. In parentheses.
No.
And spooky shit.
I see. It's all on me right now. It's not even on you two. Like I wrapped it around. I brought it back over to what's more fearful than witchcraft, and believing that everybody in Salem was believing in that shit. Now, yes. So I personally, I'll start it off because fuck you both. I personally do think that witchcraft is real. I do believe in witchcraft. I do believe in magic. I do believe in spells.
I do believe.
I honestly do, though, because, again, if coming from my Catholic background, if there's good, there's evil, and obviously the devil.
Short leash over here.
The devil. I believe the devil is real, and I believe people are going to sit there and try to contact him and try to make deals with him, and this is one of the paths to do it in.
Okay.
All right, Dad. I'm going to go to Dad because fuck you, Anthony.
Should we just rename it? Fuck is this real? This is just called Fuck You, Anthony.
That seems to be the theme of the season.
Well, to be honest with you, yeah, I always believed in witchcraft, but I believe in it in a different reason. I believe it's an extension of Satanism. It's an extension of the occult. Whether you I don't care what name you give it, Wicca, Earth magic, whatever. I think it's rooted in Satanism and rooted in the occult. And
hold on. I'm sorry, but like when
go.
you say Satanism, though, Satanism has been something that's been around for 200 years.
Longer than that.
But witchcraft and stuff like that has been around a lot longer.
I think he means that it comes from hell.
It comes from the occult. The occult's been
occult,
around.
I understand that. Yes.
Okay. Well,
because there's different types of occult. You can go back to Egyptian occult.
I'm going to put it simply to you.
Like
Here's how I believe. I believe it's fueled by the devil. It's fueled by
Satan.
Black powers. Black powers meaning anything that resides in hell. I don't mean black powers like yo or whatever.
Yo!
Or whatever.
Panther Pride.
I'm not talking about Rayford Johnson in the Olympics here. I'm just saying.
Fuck up.
You know what I'm saying?
So
I sure
black
do.
magic. Black magic.
I hate to give anything a color like that because people can fucking flip out these days.
Dark magic.
Dark magic. That's better.
better.
Well, black magic. Got people rioting your house.
Pope, please, for the love of God.
I think it's all full of shit and make believe. Is that good enough?
So you don't believe there's a
Not even spooky shit.
there's no antithesis.
No, I don't think there's.
That's a big word.
That's a big word for Elmo.
That is a big word for Elmo.
I don't think that magic is real. Now, last week I did say when we did the episode on Grimoire,
That was a couple weeks ago.
whatever the fuck it was. It's the power of belief. When you believe in something and you put everything in and it comes true, what is that to blame on? And I think that there is something real about the power of belief, but I don't necessarily think that just because you believe you're going to win the lottery, you're going to win the lottery. It comes in.
Believe I'm going to get big titty blonde.
The power of belief works 50% of the time, and out of the 50%, I guarantee 50% of that is like dumb luck and coincidence. I don't really think that these things happen because you think they're going to happen. All right. Because of that, no, I don't believe in fucking witchcraft.
I do have to add a little side note here to this whole thing.
Add a side note, big.
Okay, when people say they don't believe in witchcraft or what do you call them, warlocks? Men are warlocks?
Yeah.
Ed Warren, I'm pretty sure we're all pretty familiar with Ed Warren in this booth here. He did say, if you read the one book that I read, I'm not going to say what title it is. Yeah, I am. It's going to be The Demonologist. Anyway, in that book, he said he knows a lot of warlocks that are rich and with no way of having money. And he was saying that that they can manifest people's money from their wallets, from their homes. They can manipulate things and that's how they would gain their wealth.
God.
Now I know you
Infinite money glitch.
If I could fucking zoom in on his face while you were saying that.
But that. Do we respect Ed Warren? Do you respect Ed Warren?
I respect.
think he's just full of shit.
No. See, well, I respect Ed Warren. Now, there's a lot of people in 2024 online right now who are doing a deeper dive into the Warrens because of the stuff like The Conjuring. They're like, well, who are these people? Let's learn about them. And you're getting now other stories of the Warrens, and they're saying that they were charlatans or they were like they weren't real or whatever.
How convenient when they're not here to defend themselves.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand that. But I would have to look at Ed if he was here and go, did you open up their bank accounts and account for everything?
He did say he knew them.
I want to know how he knows them, and I want to know how he knows that they can make money manifest itself out of someone's wallet out of thin air.
Well, if you have a career as long as Ed Warren, you're going to come across stuff like this. You're going to know people.
Sure.
How he knew them, I can't explain how he knew them. But in a situation like that, I believe, that Ed Warren was truthful when he said that. Now, you cannot believe it. That's also fine. That's what we.
The idea of making something appear out of thin air that's not real. You can't make something just appear.
You can't say that. You don't know for sure.
There is nothing in the physical world that can make that happen. Matter,
physical world.
Matter.
We're talking about spiritual.
Okay, you're talking about money.
Okay.
You're talking about me opening my wallet and going, there's nothing.
This is a whole
That's
debate.
like Joey going to the refrigerator and like, there's nothing in there, and then opening up, oh, there's a steak. It doesn't happen.
I don't eat steak. This is a whole I
don't eat steak.
debate for another
Do
episode.
you see what I got to put up with every fucking week?
We're gonna end this episode here, as we're about to record the next week's episode, stuff like that. So straight off the bat, it's been a long last segment. Anthony, do not believe.
Not at all.
Dad, do believe.
Do believe.
JC3, do believe. Okay. Next week's episode, we're talking about Wicca, which is an extension of this episode. Now, granted, it's not going to have anything to do with the Salem Witch Trials. We just thought it would be fun to put that in there.
And I'm going to go on a limb here. Anthony doesn't believe.
We
didn't record the episode.
This whole season right now is Anthony doesn't believe. Anthony, shut the fuck up. That's exactly what this.
Remember when you guys did the cryptid season?
Oh,
I'm
please
you.
don't remind me. I hate
I'm
that
you.
shit.
Okay.
Fucking stupid.
I'm you.
Like I said, next week we're
my
talking
God,
about
it's Bigfoot that nobody sees. Oh my God.
My
Fuck
God,
outta here.
shut the fuck up. Next week we're talking about Wicca. Please go look at any of our social medias, and you have the link tree in the bio, and you get to go look at everything that we're sponsored by, and all of our websites, isisraelpc.com, all of it. Please go and look all that stuff up. We'll catch you guys next week. Everybody say goodnight.
Adios, motherfuckers.
Good night.
Like I said, good night, everybody. Remember, question everything. Good night.
Even now you can't give up. Even now you can't give up. Go through the weaving.
There are elements of it I can dig, but it's just this one thing. Like the idea of listen, let's preserve the earth and not destroy it and pollute it, and let's bask in the beauty that just is because it exists. Like I can totally get behind that.
Yeah, but you're right. But it's not something that you're going to sit there and say, the earth made me do it. You
Oh,
want
exactly,
to protect
yeah,
the earth.
exactly.
Like, you should protect the earth. You
You're
should you should be clean about stuff like
Yes.
that. You should be, running. Never mind.
You're not protecting the earth because you
can't
think
go
you're drawing
Yeah,
hocus pocus mumbo jumbo bullshit from it.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisraelpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisraelpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisraelpc.com.